G'day guys. I don't often work at night, but tonight it's pretty warm, so I thought I'd come out and do a little bit of mucking around. Just wanted to show you the tank before I put it in undercoat. So this is as far as I bring it down. The reason why you'll see there's lines here, that's where the paint finished. So when they did it from the factory, they paint this whole tank dark blue first, and then they put the white on and then the pearl. So when you rub it back, even up here you'll see there's a blue underlying this blue here. That's because they've painted the whole tank blue, and then they come back and then they do the white. So that's what I'll do, and it tells me how to do it. This is where the stickers were, so they've actually come right off, because the stickers, for some reason I've noticed in the past, they do sometimes penetrate all the way to the metal. And if you just rub them back and just get the sticker off and then you paint over the top, you can sometimes have stuff coming back at you, and it's the glue from the sticker, even though it's all those years old. So I always make sure I take them all the way back down, undercoat, primer or whatever you need to do, and get it back up again. So this is one here that this has been epoxied, and then it's been 600 and then 800, so it's now basically ready to be painted. I just popped it on there to sort of give you the look of the bike. It's starting to look like a bike again. So hopefully tomorrow, if the weather's okay, which I think it should be, I'll put this in undercoat, then I'll leave it for 24-48 hours, then we'll rub it down again, and then I'll start the painting process. So same with this thing, this will get all painted blue and then the white will go on. It has white in different spots, so that's how we'll do them. I do have all the other panels rubbed down, ready to go now. I will get one and show you, because you can see what I've done to it, so I won't be a minute. So like I was saying, the panel, this is the one that had all the repair in it, and this is the one I had to, those little black bits are the, I've forgotten the word of it now, they're the carbon, that's the carbon repair I did. So if you remember from one of the last videos we did, this had a lot of overspray on it. It was like very thick and lumpy, and I said that's because when I rub it down they'll all smoothen out. And now, as you can see, it's quite a smooth bump. I mean, the bump is supposed to be there, it's a covering, there's a motor sits under there, but that's all repaired now. And it's not until I flip it up you see the underside where there's a little bit more carbon there, and I'll give that a bit of a clean up so it doesn't look like that, and then repaint it. So there's that panel. That's why I just thought I'd get it out and show you what it looked like. So that's coming up alright. Very good. Okay, we'll catch us a bit later. See ya. Hello guys. We've got the tank in epoxy now, in primer. I only did that today, so I've got to give that another day or so just to go hard. I had it outside for a while, but I brought it back in now, so I'm nearly finished. And I had a little bit of a go. I haven't used this paint before, so in this colour, all colours are different. So I did these, which this is a solid colour, so this stays completely the blue colour. It doesn't get any white put on it or any other colour come to that. So this is just what they call the base coat. So I've still got to clear it. Then I'll rub this down. I'll use 1000 on it, give it a good block down. There's a couple of little like pimples in it which you get. And this is the back panel. Now I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but there's a line that runs up here, and I've left it on purpose so I can recreate that line exactly. It's only very faint, but it is there. So, and that line is, I was just up there looking at it, that is I think it's a blue line. So this top becomes white, and then there's a white underneath, a line like a little, and then there's this blue band that goes around. So I'll show you. You'll be able to see on the start of the videos, you know, and just think back to what it looked like. But I'll put some pictures up there and show you what it will look like when it's finished again. So that's it so far. I just wanted to do these couple just to see how, because remember, I don't know if you remember, I said that it will take about 5 coats, and painting this one as a solid colour with the no white on it, it actually took about 8 coats. And this one too, this one, and it's along the edge here, you can really see it highlights, it doesn't cover, so you have to keep putting it on just layer by layer until that sort of, this is one of those blues that it's very see-through, so you have to put a few coats on to actually get the background. As I said, most of it will go on with a white first, but these 2 parts I didn't. The rest of them probably will do, which will probably help cover it a bit easier. So that's it so far. I'll let you know when we get some more stuff done. See ya. Hey guys, we were just talking about the painting. Just off that topic for a second, I've just pulled the CBR out. This is one that I did last year. Had it for a while, got it off a mate of mine who, I don't know, he just didn't want it anymore. So I picked it up and brought it home and pulled it all down and just sort of didn't do a real lot to it, just cleaned things up and put them back on again. So this is her. So it's an original 1990. It's a CBR F 1000F. I can't remember how many Ks it's done. It's done 95,000. Everything on mine's done about 95,000. So it's had a couple of bits and pieces fixed on it. All the fairings have been painted. On the CBRs, you've got to be really careful because there's things like this here, this sign with this gold underneath it. You cannot get them anymore. I think you can still get that CBR. So this, like this warning sign here, that was a brand new sign that I put on, which you can still get. It's things like that. Super Sport, I don't know if you can still get that. I think you can get one and not the other. But they have a lot of weird stuff on these things. But these were all stickers. And they come, there's a whole list of them. And a lot of them you can't get now, so when you're doing them you have to paint them. But to do this is really, that's an original, but to do that is really hard. And takes a lot of time and patience. You've got to do things 3 times. So this is my old girl. I've got a couple of these, luckily. These you can still buy, that's new. That little sign on, off and reserve. These side covers you can still get. So just things like that. What you can't get are things like this, which you do need, are these covers, because they're flexible. You can still get mirrors, indicators, beg pardon, things like that. So yeah, so this is her. I really love this bike. I don't know why. It's nothing super powerful or super special. It's 1000 cc's. Rubbers. You can still buy rubbers for them. They're brand new rubbers. But yeah, no, I've just always loved this bike. Like, I saw it when it was new, and I thought, oh, one day. And then I had a Blackbird long before I ever got one of these, which is after this. You know, it's the next series after this styling. So anyway, so a little bit of history on some of the bikes. In this one, there's a show on the weekend. Mozzie's really bad today. There's a show on the weekend. My son rang me up and said he might want to borrow the bike to go down to this show. It's like a parts place, and they're having a bit of a show and shine as well as like a discount day or something. So I pulled it out and made sure everything was okay, just in case he wants it. If he doesn't, oh well, I got it out and showed you guys instead. So that's her. Alright, well that's enough of her. We'll get back into it. Oh, I'll show you what I did before. Hi guys, I just wanted to have a quick talk to you about some of the stuff we're doing, which is, this is the back panel. You've seen it on the bike. I have colour sanded this, which is something that you don't do a lot of. The reason why I've colour sanded this is there's two reasons. One of them is that this part here on the top has got to be painted white, and the other thing is that any little blemishes, for instance there's one here, you can sand out at this stage, and once you do that and then you put your clear on, if there's any little blemishes on the paint which you can get out of the gun or the air or whatever, it doesn't, you don't have to cut through the clear to get to the blemish. And being a small part, you want it, you know, as good as you can get it. So one of the dangers of colour sanding is pretty obvious, that if you go through the colour, you'll hit the undercoat or whatever, the primer. So we try and not go on the tops or the edges anywhere. We give them a very light sand as we go around. As I said, the danger is that you cut through. It happened once on this, even though I was being careful, and it's happened right on that corner there, and hopefully you can see that. Just here it is. So anyway, it's not the end of the world because it's only a very, very small part. So what I do now is I've got a little airbrush. So all I do is I touch up, because I'm at the painting stage, not the clear stage. I will just touch that up and you'll never know that I cut through. And then I can go ahead, and that's actually masking, so I've started to mask that up. That's a won't make a lot of sense yet, but this stripe is blue, and then where this tape is here, that will be white underneath it. So you'll see it when I get it done. Alright, so that's where we're at. So I'm just about to do some airbrushing, not the arty type, just the type where I'm covering up that little cut through. So I'll show you that once it's been done. I might even try and film it a bit while I'm doing it. So yeah, we'll get on to that now. Okay. Okay, I've got my airbrush here. Now there's a couple of tricks with airbrushing. As I said, I'm not an artist airbrush, I don't do pictures and all that, but I do use it for doing this sort of work. When you're going to do it, always carry a rag with you, because you can blow into your rag and it'll tell you how much paint you're going to put on the job. You can also never hold this over the top of your job, because if this drips, and they often do, you will drip onto your job, and you don't want that. So we'll see if I can cover this up. The trick is not to rush it. It will cover, you've just got to give it time. I can add a bit more air. You can see it's starting to go now. It's a very fine spray, so it does take a little while for it to cover good. It's getting pretty close now. Now I have noticed on this piece, if I spin it around carefully, all down the edges here are also quite light. So it's just a matter of coming down there and colour them in. If you want to see if it's spraying, it's certainly coming out. So this gun has different positions. You can see that you can push the gun down, but then if you pull that lever back, it's just like a normal gun, big gun, where it gives it more paint, so it allows more paint to come through. We'll just go back onto level there. Maybe out of paint. No, not quite, but close. So they don't carry very much, these pots. Alright, so that's pretty much what I do just to get those fine edges done without... The problem that you've got with your big gun is that if you get down here and start spraying it, you can load it up very quickly and you can put like a bead line around it, and it's just paint. It's not... I guess it's not very professional looking, you know, and if you had a painter look at it, he would say, I can see the paint, they would call it a run. It's run around the edge, and it really has, it's pulled on the edge. So to get a nice job, if you're not in a hurry and you can take your time, that's a good way to do it. Painters would say they just go down there with their gun, and true, but just every now and then they miss a little bit. This way that you know, and I did the sanding back of the colour, which means that, you know, when that happened, it didn't matter because I was going to repair it with this gun. So that's that. I just thought I'd show you that. This is what I do to just guarantee. And again on the mudguard, I'll go around the edge just to make sure that I've got all the little sharp edges and I haven't loaded them up with paint. So there we go, that's how I do it. Cheers. Just another quick one. There's the cap, and you can see that a lot of the time they're chrome, a lot of the time that these get polished, but on this particular bike they weren't. They were just a silver sort of painted, and they just had this black cap, and that sort of, there's like a, it's not a crinkle finish, but it's not a completely smooth finish. That was the finish of the top of the tank, the top of this cap. So I've left that finish on there because that's what it had. Alright, so that's that ready to go back on the tank when the tank gets done. Okay, so a little while ago I said that I was going to repair the rubbers on the headlight bases because this one was torn. So this is the stuff I found at Bunnings. It's a sticky back, comes in a roll 5 metres, and it's quite thin. So that's the stuff that I've used. You don't use a lot, but you know, it wasn't that expensive. So, and then the bases, I copied the shape, how they were. I've put that over the top as an extra, but then there's the shape, and then they protect the base. So they've been done now, like I said I would do. And as I said, that's an extra, but that doesn't matter because I know where they're going to sit, and when they go on the bike, it just helps they actually go like that. And that just helps keep them there so they're in the right spot. Alright, so that's that. An easy fix, fairly cheap. It was 17 bucks or something for a roll. You can use it for other things. There's other parts on the bike that I'll use it, like under the seat and stuff like that, to stop it, you know, rattles. So you can use this low foam density is very good for that. Alright, so there you go. That's how you do that bit.